is our take on what excuse me, what would you, if you didn't have the job you have now, what would you be doing? George.
Before I answer that, I want to tell you I'm not sure about this new layout of our podcast because I like the ability to lean into your camera shot.
Thank you, George.
With my head, and
you're a very giving performer.
But to
seriously, comb and fix the back of your hair. It's a disaster.
Really? He can't. There's no hair to fix.
Go ahead.
Oh, wow.
I've always been fascinated by intellectual property, so I probably would have been an attorney that lived in that world.
Okay. A lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of law? Like intellectual property
law?
Copyright
law?
law?
Yeah, probably copyright.
So that's not like going to a jury, is it? Is that going to a judge?
If it gets
you do that sometimes when people
expert witness.
People rip off other people's music or they think it's ripped off or something.
Right, and when somebody thinks they have a case where somebody's stolen a song, they hire a musicologist to analyze the plaintiff's music and then the defendant's music, and you determine whether or not you think there's enough to move forward.
Give me your website so you get more work. He does this. He's done it professionally.
Do you listen to it right there in the courtroom, or do they give it to you and you have to listen to it at home?
No, you have to prepare. You listen to it and you do a comparison, and then you tell them whether or not you believe they have a case. And many times, like, I'm a musician and a musicologist, and as a musician, I would often say that there's nothing here, but there are rules that you have to live by to say I have a case that's worth pursuing. As a musician, I would think there's not enough here, but if you apply the rules of law, being a musicologist, if it falls within, you have to do that. And I tell people that. I'll go to the attorney that hired me and I'll say, I'm going to tell you in my musician hat I'm wearing, I don't believe there's nothing here, but if I apply
the rules,
this crosses the line, and I go, you determine whether or not you want to proceed with it.
Okay, because and I'm not going to say who it is, but George won a very big case against somebody that ripped off I hate the word ripped off, that copied one of his songs that he won, and it's a huge guy, huge guy.
I actually bought my house.
Yeah, a huge guy.
Mm-hmm. I'm a lonely ecologist. I just was holding that in, and it's not that funny.
But wait, George, I had a question, and I forgot what it was. So okay, there was a case where the Verve,
is this the Rolling Stones
Bittersweet
case?
Symphony,
yeah,
and the Rolling Stones or whomever that lawyer is sued the Verve.
Yeah.
It's a bittersweet symphony. I love that song, by the way.
You should sing the whole thing.
So I do that in my other podcast. I do on the side.
Yeah.
You have another one?
Yeah.
Scott Baio sings.
Scott Baio sings Sinatra and other hits. Wait, so but that was taken back. Oh no, they split it.
Well, I actually think, I don't remember, but I actually think they had to give the whatever portion of that actually to the Stones completely. But then recently, which was decades later, they came up with a more divided solution to it.
All right. So it happens, I guess. What about you, Mark Jones?
Well, I've said this before. I probably would have been a cop. I had a lot of affinity as a little kid. I loved police, but it became too dangerous, and so.
What was it? What did you see something happen?
Whenever I saw. Did
you watch it? You were too young to write Adam 12.
Yes, I was too young. I used to watch it. Well, in a past life, I was probably a police officer.
Is that what you're going with?
I do believe in past lives because when I was a little kid and the police would show up, I had such an affinity.
Why would they show up to your house?
Well, usually, I was at someone else's house, so they had to get me out of there. No, I did. I think things that you have great affinity for, maybe, but we won't go into that. That's a whole nother segment. I do. But I loved, making little movies as a kid. So I really.
But why wouldn't you have become a reserve?
I thought about it.
But why didn't you?
I thought about it when I was about 34 years old. Too scared.
Wow, that long ago? They had police back then?
No, horses. It was a Pony Express, and no, I actually thought about it, and then I said I was doing TV, and I chickened out.
Didn't you do you did in the world that I worked as musicologist something for, was it animators or something?
No. I tried to get the animation writers into the Writers Guild, because animation writers are still not covered by the Writers Guild. So I was on. I was a witness. So
Expert witness.
Yeah. Getting.
That's what a musicologist is.
Yes, I was an expert witness, but I will say, attorney. I'm fascinated with arguments and talking to people.
A cop and an attorney?
Yeah, I was going to say what George said about attorney. Entertainment attorneys, I read all the things and the number of
Really?
lawsuits I've had. So I read it, and I actually am fascinated by law because it's writing a story that sends it this way. So I think a lawyer, I would have probably been happy being a lawyer.
What's it called? A jury lawyer?
No, it's called a.
There's people that don't go to trials.
Settlement?
No. Litigators don't go to trial. It's the.
No, they do go to trial.
Oh, they do. Okay.
Yeah.
Whomever that guy is.
I would have loved to have been a jury.
So then basically you wanted to be an actor.
Yes, to speak, and no one could
Yes.
speak against me.
Right.
I could just talk for hours, like I do on the podcast.
Heaven.
I know. Yes, I actually. So that's probably it. But no, I would have.
Well, which one, a cop or a lawyer?
Between the two, a cop.
Okay.
So if you were on the witness stand testifying and your police chase alarm went off, would you?
I would leave. I would leap over. I wouldn't even open the gate.
He
I would
likes
just leap
police
over.
chases.
I do like police chases. What were you?
I
You.
wanted to be a veterinarian.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yep. I always liked animals, when I was young, my brother and I'll never forget it. I will never forget it. And it was, I think, one of the reasons why I must have been 10, maybe younger. We sold packets of seeds from the back of a comic book or something.
I used to get those. Yes.
And we bought a Daisy BB gun. And they sent us a BB gun.
Yes, they did that.
Yeah,
Yes,
me and
I
my
know.
brother, you had to unscrew the top and pour the BBs in. It was like the Rifleman. It was that
pump,
kind
you
of
pump, and then
It was, and I remember, and I could hit anything, and we were running around my street with a rifle, like, and I remember I saw a sparrow in a tree, and I shot it, and I killed it.
And that made you want to be a...
And it fell to the ground, and all these sparrows jumped around it, and I went, oh my God, that's horrible what I just did.
I got to tell you, Ron Howard in Andy and Mayberry, that was an episode where he did a slingshot and killed the mother sparrow with the babies, and Andy Griffith made him bring up the babies.
Thanks, Mark. That's a great side note.
No, but that's exactly, and he felt so.
Those were the happy days.
So you. No, I think that's a great connection. So.
Okay, thank you.
No.
It wasn't a slingshot, but that's it. With a slingshot.
So you said after that.
No,
you
I just felt so
bad
bad for it, and I thought I would never do that again. I always loved dogs, and I would just, I felt bad. My dog killed a bunch of frogs, and we went frogging one day, and I felt bad for the frogs, and I thought, some of our dogs died, and one was poisoned, and stuff like that when I was a kid, and
somebody poisoned your dog.
Yeah.
Really?
Whatever.
But,
and I thought, I'd rather help animals, and I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then the show business thing came up, and
well, let me ask you a question. You've had dogs. Mm-hmm. Did you ever have to put a dog to sleep?
Sure.
And how many?
1, 2, 3, 11.
And these were your dogs.
Yes, they were my dogs.
No, okay.
I've had to put two of my shepherds. 4 dogs. My little pound dog that I get, which is Annie, who's the best, and then my wife's Pomeranian. She brought a Pomeranian into the marriage. I had to put that dog down. Gia, great little dog.
So you were with the dogs when they were put down?
Yeah, I have 2 of my dogs' ashes at my house, and that's a horrible thing. That's just a horrible thing. You go there and they give them the shot, and I'm like, oh my, this is horrible.
But you got to be there for them. You have to be there.
Yeah. I know. Dave, our friend Dave's dog, just went away, and to prison, and it was it was a bad dog, and no, it's horrible. It's just horrible, and I don't. This is a very depressing subject.
Well, I was just going to say, I have had dogs and cats. I've never had to put an animal down. My first dog, Pippin, was hit by a car.
Oh.
My dad saw it. I was at Jack in the Box working in high school, and he came back and he said, "Your dog is in a box and it got hit by a car." And
in a box? What do you mean?
Well, he put it in a box. My dad saw it get hit, and it was very sad. And you're going to make me cry. I had 4 cats that died in my arms. One I was ready to put down, but I went in the backyard, I held her, scoonch, and petted her, and she died. So, and I had 2 dogs that I woke up in the morning and they were dead.
Yeah.
So they spared me. I don't know if I can do it. I have never been put an animal down. I think I would lose it. I would be there. I have never done it.
I put my dogs down. I say, "You're ugly. Your fur is too shaggy. You need a trim." I put them down a lot.
Did you talk?
You're mad at
And I'm going to ask you a personal question. You actually went and had to put a dog down and sit with them, and did you talk to the dog? Did you pet it? Did you say things?
Sure.
What did you do? Because I've never had to do it, as I said.
Oh, we had put down at my house in Encino.
Oh, they came to the house.
They came to the house.
Okay.
One was in the vet's office, and
What did you say to the dog?
I just said it's okay. It's okay. And look.
I don't want to make you cry, but
one of my shepherds he was done.
okay.
And then the other one, his brother. They were litter mates. He was older. He was like 11 or 12, and I went out to the back, and he walked, but he had problems, and I looked in his eye, and I knew it. I just knew it. His eyes started to sink in a little bit, and he told me he's done. Said he's done, and I went, and I literally went, okay. And I picked him up, took him to the vet, and I said, "It's okay. You had a good life, and I love you."
Did you go into the room when they actually?
I said, "I love you, and I'll see you later."
What? Because I've never done it. When the needle goes in,
What they do is this.
Yeah. What do they do?
Jesus.
No,
They knock him out first.
Right.
They hit him with a knockout shot. So the dog is alive. This is what happened to me.
Okay.
And then they say, "Would you like him in?" And I go, and I'm talking the whole time. I said, "No, just go," and then gone.
And you petted him.
Yeah, I was holding him. And the other dog too, and it's a horrible thing. It's horrible, but and that's why I mean we have a beautiful little dog now.
She's cute.
I'm done. I don't want any more dogs after this dog. And my wife and I will probably argue a little bit about it, but she wants a dog, and I just don't want. Look, I love dogs. I love them, but it's a huge consideration.
Yeah, I think.
You're traveling. When you go to dinner, does the dog have to go out? And, what do you do when the dog is old? And it's just a constant, it's more difficult than having a baby. Because the dog never takes care of itself. The child, when he's, 7, 8, 9, she's 10 years, 6, 7, whatever,
and
they feed themselves, and they do whatever, and they go watch television, or they go read, or whatever.
Well, here's the big thing. The animals die before you.
Yeah.
Children go on after you.
Listen, I love that poem, The Rainbow Bridge.
Oh,
I think it's fantastic, and it makes me cry every time I read it.
Every time I read it, I cry.
So I say to my dogs, "I'll see you when I'll see you when I'm done."
They're gonna run to you.
Yeah, I'll see you when I'm done. And how about this? I went to a psychic once. My sister says the psychic is amazing. You got to go to the psychic. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I go to the psychic. It's kind of fun. You okay, George?
George, what's going on?
George has a habit of breaking things.
Yeah, George is. You got more scotch in the bottle. George.
So I go to the psychic, and at the time, I don't know when this was, 25 years ago. So I was much more famous than I am now. So a lot more people knew me, and she knew who I was. And you can't, I couldn't go in and people.
You were famous?
Yeah, and you can't go in and the people not know who you are.
Yeah.
But I went, and she told me some things, and she says to me, she says, "You have 2 dogs next to you." Okay, it's okay. It's okay. They were her dogs. No. Medic.
I swallowed. Don't hold it.
We're rolling.
Cut her. I know you cut around it. Hold on.
Leave it in.
I swallowed wrong.
Guys, filming.
Go on.
No, because you're not done. He's the annoying guy in the restaurant right now. Can you take care of that outside, please? Sir, go outside and blow your nose and cough and act.
Okay.
You can't do that.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
You're not good.
I'm good for you.
You're not good. You're crying and everything. You're not good.
No, but they'll do a close-up on you.
No, they won't. They're going to leave all this in. Look, this segment needed some comedy anyway.
I was actually getting into your story. I'm sorry.
I forgot what the story was.
No. You said you went to a girl, a Whoopi Goldberg girl.
From Ghost. From Ghost.
Yeah.
Hell. Wow.
I just swallowed wrong. I do not want to see this podcast
Yeah, you are. You're
cut
going to see
together.
all of it. Every second of it.
Okay. What'd you say about no? Okay, so you went to the girl.
Oh,
The psychic.
Okay, drink more.
No, I'm washing it down.
You went to a psychic.
I went to the psychic, and she says to me, this, that, and the other. She says, you have 2 dogs next to you. And I said, okay. She says, they're protecting you. And I said to her, what are they? And she said, they're big and they're black. And I had 2 big black German Shepherds. And she said, they're with you all the time. And I said, well, how do you know that when you're not with me? You know? She said, your dogs are with you. And I said, okay.
Did
you get chills?
I did.
One of them.
I kept paying $200. That's when I got the chills. What?
You had to go find one of the dogs because it had.
Both of them.
Both of them ran away. Studio
Both of
City,
them.
right?
Yeah, both of them ran away. They got out of they got out of a fence. I lived in the hills. The studio said I had a big piece of property, and there was a gap in the fence about this big, and I used to leave them to run free and just.
Why would you leave a gap in there?
No,
I didn't know it.
He didn't know there was a. Yeah.
I had the fences built, but the guys left a gap. So anyway, so I come home. They're gone, and I go, oh my God! And I call my parents. I'm like, my dogs are gone. I don't know where they are. They had their collars on them. Oh. And the short story is, the phone. I think it was my parents' phone number on the thing for some reason or another. I don't remember. And they said, we have one of your dogs. And I went, where? And so I go get the dog. And the guy couldn't have been nice. So I was going to give him. He said no. I said, where was he? He said he was in the middle of Laurel Canyon and Ventura Boulevard running.
Oh.
And I said, and he came to you? He goes, I said, here, come on. He got right in my car. I was like,
God bless that guy.
I said, all right.
He's trying to get away from.
Yeah. So I get that dog, and then I don't have the other one. Oh. And I'm just, and I get the other dog home, and I'm like, crap. So I put him home, and I lock him in the backyard where he can't get out. And I'm driving around the neighborhood, and I go down a side street, and there's a kid sitting on the curb. And I go right by him, and I think, you know what? Stop. I roll back, and I said, hey, man, did you happen to see a dog? He says, he just went by me.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my gosh.
Really?
And I went, and I started yelling my dog's name.
What was his name?
Tucker. And all of a sudden, and it was night, and all of a sudden I see,
Oh,
really?
Coming to you.
boom, boom. And he came to me, and he jumped on me.
Wow.
He was lost, but he kind of knew the area. The other dog, I guess, was not as smart as the other one. He was like, "Hey, woo!" But he came to me, and he was, all excited to see me, and I yelled at him, but I was like, "What the hell, you scared, whatever?" And I hugged him, and I got him home. I was like, "Oh, I could not have lived with myself. I couldn't have lived with myself."
Oh.
And anyway, that's so
I was going to say, what I always think about
Can you
my
say?
age, I've gotten through the coughing fit. You figure, at what age do you not get an animal because they'll outlive you? Like, cats can live to 20
Don't get
years.
another animal.
Wow.
I was thinking of it, George. Good one.
No, I'm
I
like,
don't know at that age. I don't know.
no, because I want to have animals my whole life, and then I go, well,
Yeah,
what
I just
point?
don't. I just don't want to. I'm kind of done. I'm just done. I love this little dog we have. He's cute as he's smart.
Is he cute?
He's smart as hell.
Bugsy.
And he's got a cone on him right now because he was doing stuff to his back paw or whatever. Anyway,
they used to put a cone on me
yeah.
for other things.
So when you put the cone, you just pour wine in the cone, right? You just go,
Yeah.
Give him a cigar and you light it.
He's very mean to me.
Anyway, all right. So what was the what would you have done if you were not what you are now? All right. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, wait, real quick, because we got a couple of minutes. Producer, director, what would you do? Real quick.
About what?
Wasn't this?
No, if you couldn't,
Oh.
if you weren't doing what you're doing, what would you be? Greg?
Oh, I'd be actually, I'm a teacher and I love it. So I would always be a teacher.
Good.
Okay.
Actually, I probably would have tried to be an actor.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
A guy as ugly as you would have been an actor? Okay. Character actor.
All right.
Likes him. She thinks he looks like the guy from Gladiator. What's his name?
We don't know. George.
Russell Crowe?
Yeah, my wife thinks
Oh, a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
Just in the eyes.
No, don't shut it yet.
Done.
Never shut until we're done.
Done.
Go.
Done.
Say something.
I'm done.
Okay.
I said good night, Alice.
See up my nose with the